Good morning and welcome. In this video, I am going to show how to fit and interpret Probit regression model in STATA. Let me tell you about the model that I am going to estimate. I am using NSW88 file which I have downloaded from the net, and in this the dependent variable is a binary categorical variable, and it is equal to 1 if the individual is married and his or her spouse is present, and 0 otherwise. Age is my continuous explanatory variable, and south is a binary categorical predictor variable, and it is equal to 1 if a person lives in the south of the country and 0 otherwise. The sample size, the number of individuals who have participated in this study is 28,534. In order to fit the Probit regression model and interpret its result, let me go to the data file in STATA, and I have already opened my file here. So first of all, I am telling you about the variables that I am going to analyze. Now MSP is my variable, categorical variable, binary categorical variable, and it is equal to 1 if a person is married and his spouse or her spouse is present. I am taking age, which is a continuous predictor variable, and next I am take another categorical variable, south, and it is equal to 1 if a person lives in south, 0 otherwise. So this is the summary. Total number of observation for this variable. These are total observation for age, these are total observation for south, and these are the minimum and maximum means and standard deviation. After this, I'll go to statistics, and I have already given these commands here. So this is the command for Probit. MSP is my dependent variable, I south is my categorical explanatory variable, age is my continuous independent variable, and this is the interaction effect of age and south. Now here is my command. This is the iteration history, these are the model level statistics, these are the coefficients, and since these are the coefficients, I would like to change these into margins, but before that I want to make the standard error as robust. So I will give this command. Up to this point the command is here, and then I see VCE robust. So I am telling STATA to give me robust standard errors. So now instead of the usual standard errors, it is giving me robust standard errors. So these are the coefficients. Since these are a little bit difficult to interpret, so let me estimate or compute the marginal predictive probabilities for those living in the south at different age groups. So again, this is my command, and these are at age. So at 1 is equal to when a person is of age 20, 2 for age 30, 3 for 31 to 40, 4 for 41 to 50, and finally 71 to 80. So here are my marginal predicted probabilities. So this tells me the marginal expected probabilities of someone who is married and his spouse is with him, given that he is at age and he is not living in the south. This is the marginal predicted probability of someone who is married and his spouse is living with him, given that he is living in the south of the country and he is age 20. This is the marginal expected or predicted probability of someone who is married and his spouse is with him, given that his age is 30 and he is not living in the south. And this is the marginal predicted probability of someone married and being with spouse, given that he is living in the south of the country and he is in the age group of 30, and so on. And finally, this is the marginal expected or marginal predicted probability of someone being married and living with spouse, given that he is at age 80 and he is not living in the south. And this is the marginal predicted probability of someone being married and living with spouse, given that he is living in the south and he is age 20. And after that, I want to plot these marginal expected probabilities. So this is the plot of the adjusted predictions of south with 95% confidence interval. Along the y-axis we are measuring probabilities of someone being married and living with spouse, and below here we are measuring age groups from 20 through 80 with interval of 10, and these legends are for this blue one is for south, someone living in the south, and this red one for someone not living in south. Now I want to remove this confidence interval, so I will give this command no C means no confidence interval. So now the diagram is looking beautiful. There are no confidence interval in that, and after that I can also swap the y-axis and the x-axis, and now age is along the y-axis and the predicted probabilities of being married and living with spouse are measured along the horizontal axis, but the previous one looks good, so let me change it again to the previous one, and this is much better than the other one. So age is measured along this and predicted probabilities are measured along the vertical axis. Now I want to explain this. This means that this is the marginal predicted probability of someone being married and living with spouse, given that a person is living in the south of the country and he is at age 20. This is the marginal predicted probability of someone being married and living with spouse, given that he is not living in the south and he is at age 20. This is the marginal predicted probability of someone being married and living with his spouse, given that he is at age 50 and not and living in south. This is the marginal predicted probability of someone being married and living with spouse, given that he is living in south and his age is 50, and this one is he is not living in south. Finally, this is the marginal predicted probability of someone who is not living in south and he is at age 80, and this is the marginal expected or marginal predicted probability of someone being married and living with his spouse, given that his age or her age is 80 and he is living in the south. So I hope this was quite useful for you, how to estimate Probit regression and how to interpret their result and how to make the plots of these results. So if you have still any question, you may ask me a question below in the below comments, and I'll try my level best to come up with the answer. Kindly share this video with your this video lecture with your